Welcome to the Be It Till You See It podcast, where we talk about taking messy action, knowing that perfect is boring. I'm Leslie Logan, Pilates instructor and fitness business coach. I've trained thousands of people around the world, and the number one thing I see stopping people from achieving anything is self-doubt. My friends, action brings clarity, and it's the antidote to fear. Each week, my guests will bring bold, executable, intrinsic, and targeted steps that you can use to put yourself first and be it till you see it. It's a practice, not a perfect. Let's get started. Welcome back to the Be It Till You See It interview recap, where my co-host in life, Brad, and I are going to dig into the sweet and delightful, I'm adding that in there, Amanda, sweet and delightful combo I had with Wild Honey Band in our last episode. If you haven't yet listened to that interview, feel free to pause this now, go back and listen to that one, and join us back here. Listen to this one, then listen to that one. You're going to want to listen to all of them. Amanda and Brad listened to them 3 times. I mean, you know, it's good. I really loved them.
They were fun. It was, I mean, they're I love their story of why they started a band.
Oh my God.
And
also, like, so I just love that one girl didn't even have an instrument she played.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm going to play the violin.
Yeah. Actually, her story was also hilarious because she's like, I guess I'm going to not be the mom who sits in the back, and I'm going to join all the 10-year-olds that play violin.
I know. She did that. She did do that.
I think that's funny.
I think it's great. I think more, you know, there's that whole like thing about like dance moms, but this is like, she's not being a dance mom. She's like, no, I'm just actually going to be in the class. Like, I'm just going to do this.
Yeah,
so
she's not living vicariously anymore. She's just doing it.
She's just doing it.
Well, good for her. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, they all were really amazing, and I'm so grateful. And I'm so excited that we had 3 people on.
Yeah, that was fun.
And, you know, it was, I mean, they were going to be in person together so that they could play a song for us live. But at any rate, we still got to do the song on the show, which is also super fun. So anyways, technically this episode is out. It's going to sound like it's happening now, but we're recording it before Brad goes to Cambodia.
Oh yeah.
And so as of right now, he'll be in Cambodia.
I'm in Cambodia.
At least a few days by now.
I will be in Cambodia. Mm-hmm. So yes.
So Claire Solly, who was on episode 19, 17, 15.
I'm going to have to look.
She was in the teens. She is going to do some recaps with me, which is really going to be a lot of fun. You'll have to let us know.
Yeah, 19. Good memory.
Dude,
I'm impressed.
Anyways, thank you. So you're going to hear another voice on the show for some of the recaps coming up, because the show must go on, whether Brad's in Cambodia or not. And it's 14 hours difference, and I'm not about to do a recording when we have the very rare overlap of daylight hours.
Yeah, I'll be gone for almost 3 weeks.
Yeah.
With travel time. And so during those days, during those weeks, you know, you'll probably do a few episodes with Claire.
I'm going to do a few episodes with Claire. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm probably not recording videos. I've been trying to figure out how I'm going to record classes while you're gone, and I'm pretty sure the camera will always be crooked. Because if you look at my reels, everyone, I am aware that it's crooked. It looked straight when I set it up, and then you look back and it's crooked. And I'm like, you know what? We're just going to wait till he gets back. It's just not going to happen. So, you know, you don't have to be perfect. But anyways, I'm very excited that you're in Cambodia and you're fixing up our house with my dad.
Yeah, your dad's going to come with, and we're going to get to go see our, you know, the people there that we call family. Mm-hmm. Our tour guide, Trey Peach, and her husband, Rata, and then Rata's parents. And then also we are excited. If you haven't heard us talk about this already, we have actually now begun sending our pseudo-adopted girl, not adopted in any way, but like in our minds, she's adopted girl. Her name is Lynn. And she's 13, and she's wicked smart.
She's wicked smart. I can't say it. I'm not from Boston. She's so smart, y'all.
Yeah, and we decided to send her to school.
We met her real briefly. We met her in 2018. She had no idea that she like had these two people going on a hunt to find her.
Yeah.
We had to find her again because she knew 5 languages and she was 9 years old and she could flip through them so quickly. And I can't even flip through. I can't even talk to the housekeeper that quickly. I have to like think about it. And she flipped through 5 languages, and the average Cambodian child only goes to school until 6th grade.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, where Sray Lynn lives. She actually lives in a village very close to the temples. And so those kids actually, they do go to school, but they often also work and they have to sell because it's the only way their family can make money is if everyone's working.
Yeah, I mean, even if they go to school, maybe they go to school like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or they go like Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday kind of thing. And they're really only there for like a couple of hours, like 2-3 hours max, you know, and so they are getting some education, but it's not like going to school the way that I grew up going to school 5 days a week. And I like whatever, 9-10 months of the year, 9-10 months of the year. You know, that's definitely not how it happens over there. And we were able to enroll her in a school that is 5 days a week.
Anyways, back to Sray Lynn, our amazing adopted daughter, who's not really at all adopted, but actually, so we actually found her in 2020 outside of
First time we met her was 2018.
Yeah.
Then we were on the hunt to try to reconnect with her.
We couldn't find her. We
Took
did
2 years.
2 years, 2 other retreat groups, and we still didn't find her. The third retreat group that we had after we met her was the March of 2020, and we were using a rest stop, a little bathroom stop that we never used before, ever, out of all the tours we've done, and Brad saw her.
Yeah, we got off the bus, and there was all these people like, hey, come buy my shirts. I got all this stuff. And there's like a dozen vendors yelling at us. And we got everyone coming off our tour bus to use the bathroom. And
we were the only retreaters, only tourists in the country.
Yeah, there was like nobody else but us to talk to. So everyone was like jumping on us, like, buy my stuff. Right. And I got off the bus and the group went ahead of me and I turned and I saw her and I was like, Lynn? And I pointed at her and all of the vendors were like, what the? Right, they like it was like everybody stopped yelling and they like looked at me like, how do you know what? And Lynn looked at me like, who the hell are you? Why do you know my name? Right? And I was like, is your name Lynn? And she came up to me and we started to talk. I said, we met you 2 years ago, but at the temple, which is like a quarter mile up the road. So she wasn't far from where she apparently normally works and hangs out and stuff. And then Lesley was coming back from the bathroom, and I said, I have someone to introduce to you. And so Lynn kind of looked like a little bit like she's like only vaguely remember these people, if anything.
No way she remembers us.
Yeah.
It's fine because she sees thousands of tourists a year or even a month. And
I mean, there's 4.5 million people that go through Cambodian temples every year.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it was March 2020 so it had been full tourism for the 2 years, like almost 2 years since we had met her the first time. So there's a very real chance that like 8 million people had gone through the temple since we saw her last.
So we're like, we're like coming on hot. Like, we're like, we've been looking for you. Like, right. This poor girl is like, oh my God, what are these Americans trying to do to me?
Yeah. But we connected her to our tour guide who, like I said, we call her family, Trey Peach. And we said, Peach, can you please, find out where she lives, like connect with her family, connect with her parents. We want to send her to school. And so, they start speaking Khmer and all the things. And Peach is like, okay, I know where she lives and I will go and introduce myself to the family and we can figure it out. And we got all excited. And then
the world shut down.
Yeah, COVID shut all the schools down.
Shut all the schools down, shut everything down. And so we basically have just been waiting for the schools to open up. But in the meantime, Trey Peach was talking with her family. We found out she actually doesn't have parents.
Yeah, we don't actually know the story behind that yet.
No, but Brad gets to meet her and with my dad, and there's Khmer New Year while they're there. So I think you guys are going to have so much fun. And I'm
a little worried. I need to brush up on my Khmer.
Well, you know what? Maybe we can get Sray Lynn on the phone and actually we could teach her English. She can teach us Khmer. Because also I think for them as well, not having tourists for 2 years, all of their language skills, everyone's language skills dropped. So
Crazy.
Including here, people are just only able to text. They cannot look people in the eye. So at any rate, I'm excited you're there. I am very sad that I don't get to hang out with her, but there'll be more time for that.
Well, we'll be going back later this year, you know,
Yeah.
to actually go on a retreat. And,
Yes.
and y'all are welcome to come with us.
You better come with us. It's not a retreat if we go by ourselves.
Yeah, obviously. But it'll probably, the exact dates have not been chosen yet, but we're looking at like November.
Yeah.
And we would love to have you join us. If you want to get on the wait list for that, you can do that at onlinepilatesclasses.com/retreats.
Yeah. So do that. All right.
I think it's singular, retreat. Anyway.
Yeah. Go to the show notes and just click it.
Yeah, do
It'll
that.
be the correct
It'll be
down
in
there.
the show notes.
That's what Amanda does. She
Yes.
saves us.
Amanda is our epic producer.
Okay. So do we have a question?
Yeah, so this week we have a question that is very relevant to your Instagram stories. So this morning you posted some green popcorn.
I did. Okay. So first of all, I think I need to buy gloves. And now that like, about me.
The challenge is out.
Yeah.
Chopsticks.
Chopsticks. Okay, that's what he said. Chopsticks. Okay, and also that's less trash. You know what? I just gave the link, and I'm gonna see if she can do it with chopsticks. If she can do it with chopsticks, then I know it's possible to do it.
This is like a thing. People eat chips with chopsticks out of the bag, so they reach into the bag with chopsticks. Oh, this is a whole thing.
Okay. Well, anyways.
Don't you worry.
So here's the deal. One of our friends, she loves to create a menu whenever we go. And so we were there at her house for New Year's Eve. We're at Sue and Steven Spinelli's house for New Year's Eve. And she created spirulina popcorn. And she just thought it'd be this fun, like, appetizer. And I freaking chowed down. Like, I was like, I know you've got muscles. I know you have, like, some incredible, like, 7 courses. And I, like ate
muscles
the bowl.
like from the ocean muscles, not like Brad's got muscles.
Right. But I ate the popcorn. Like, I ate it all.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
My fingers were so green, but I ate it all. And I was like, I need the recipe. And so we got the recipe, and then we had people over in
Y'all,
January.
it's a combination. So if you've never heard of spirulina, it is algae, right? And it actually is healthy for your gut. And it has
also has protein in it.
the spirulina has protein, yeah. And then it has some type of yeast, which I'm drawing a blank on.
Nutritional
yeast. There's
garlic
there's
salt?
garlic powder.
Oh, garlic powder.
There's onion powder. There's salt, and then a little bit of oil in there, and you kind of mix it all up, and then it coats the popcorn.
Yeah.
And I realized when I was making it last night, I was like, it because of the oil and the yeast, it kind of like becomes like a big clump, and you have to like really mix it in. So I was like,
a little cayenne.
Oh, that's right. There's a little bit of cayenne in there. So I was really, really like mixing this popcorn through the coating of the spirulina mixture that I made. And I realized that like I was treating the popcorn all delicate. And then by the end of it, I was just like beating the popcorn to try to get it into the spirulina mix. And yeah, it's got life.
It's so good. And like, if you have really good containers, you can make a big batch and then like
put them in like an airtight container, and it actually stores well for like days.
I ate a whole bowl today. I took a picture and put it on Instagram, and now everybody wants that. So that's the recipe. Do it up, and you know what? It's like healthy popcorn. Like, I remember putting those like shaker things on your like those little
the fake cheese,
or the kettle corn or
whatever,
the
ranch, whatever.
This is like it's so healthy.
Yeah, it's way better than that.
It's so healthy. So anyways, okay. Thanks for that question. I'm glad you liked my stories. Please send your questions in because we love answering them. They're so fun for us. Oh, and also
this is my shout out to Emily's Garden Show.
For those of you on the YouTube, you'll see Brad like not even quietly trying to get you to ask questions about his cactus.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about our guests, huh?
Yeah, let's talk about the Wild Honey Band. 3 amazing women, Laura, Jessica, and Shelby, who gave a purpose to their gatherings and in the process created an amazing band called Wild Honey. They are moms, musicians, and professionals who have stopped apologizing for taking time for themselves and encouraging other women to do the same. And we met them in real life when we were in Calgary for Pilates Fest North. And at the end of the weekend, the band was there to perform for us. And one of them actually, I think she's a Pilates instructor. And so that's how the connection all came together. And it was so much fun to listen to them. They have been a band now for 10 years. And it was...
I know. That
really,
was shocking
really impressive.
to me. I guess I didn't realize that when I asked them to be on. I think I don't know what I was thinking. So, but we heard them in Calgary when we were there, and I was like, listen, like, oh, these women sound so sweet. Like, they make me think of like the bands I listened to when I was a child in the 90s, and you know, like the Chicks, you know, and then their story, and I was like, they're freaking Be It Till You See It, like all the way. So anyways, I am so glad that they took the time. How we got three moms of many children, if you heard, like all daughters.
Yeah, they have 8 daughters between the 3 of them.
Yeah. And
no sons, apparently.
I know, but it's nice because all the fathers, like all the husbands were like all boys. So I think that was just the universe, you know, keeping things in check. Here's the deal. Our script didn't update on my end, so I'm just going to go off of my memory.
You're taking time for yourself.
Thank you. Finding hobbies.
Yeah.
Being purposeful. Super awesome. Wonderful.
Yeah, nailed it.
So, okay. When they talked about you have to take time for yourself as a mom, obviously I'm not a mom, and I'm so sorry, whether you're a mom or not, every lady listening, we have to take time for ourselves and not feel guilty about it. And so, you know, they brought up how like men have all these hobbies and like they watch football together. And like I have girlfriends who are like, when it's football season, they're like, yeah, he's watching the game, so we're watching the game. And I'm like, what? Why are you watching? Like, why aren't we doing whatever we want to do? And so anyways, they created their own hobbies, to be unapologetic about it. But I have been trying to find hobbies. I think I had them before the pandemic, or at least some things I like to do. But then with the pandemic, with our move, with the change of our companies, I have been struggling to figure out like, what do I like to do for me?
Yeah.
And
well, what did you do for you before?
So I really liked going to, I had girlfriends that I would hang out with. We'd work out together, which is not a hobby, but we would work out together at that one gym. And then we would go and have backyard bowls and sit, and we'd walk the bluffs, you know, things like that. I used to read a lot. I used to go to dinners. I know none of those things are hobbies, but like I did things with people on a consistent basis that made me feel like my cup was full. Here's a hobby, not a hobby, but this is what I did. I went to the Korean spa every month when I was home.
That's true, you did.
And I spent so much time there. I hiked. We used to hike all the time.
But we used to hike. We used to do full moon hikes. That was actually tons of fun.
Those were tons of fun.
Yeah.
And so I just had all these little things that none of them were like necessarily weekly, but they were consistent. And they were like, when I needed it was time to fill my cup, that's what was happening. And so I'm currently unapologetically taking a lot of time for myself to figure out things I like to do.
Yeah.
And the jury is still out, but we're working on it. We're working on it. I did a lyric class. I'm apparently a natural, of course.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take a pole fitness class, like pole dancing, but for
fitness. Out there.
I'm putting it out there. It's you don't wear shoes, so I feel good about that.
So we're taking a course right now called The Artist's Way. Well, the book is The Artist's Way. The course is about the book. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that you are supposed to do is do an artist date. And it's a solo thing. You go do it all by yourself. And I think that it's so funny because I don't remember the last time. I mean, we've been married now for 6 and a half years.
I know someone else asked how long we've been married, and we were like, and he was like, really? And I was like, I know.
Yeah, 6.5 years. And, you know, the truth is you got to get into this habit of doing things together, which isn't a bad thing, but you very infrequently, like I used to just do stuff by myself before when I was trying to go meet people or try to go do something, or my friend's band would play and I would just go, right? And I don't know, you just kind of stop doing that stuff when you're with someone.
No, I think honestly, Brad, I think it's that with the pandemic, we didn't leave the house.
Well,
and so we just got used to doing, and we also moved. And so then we were like our only friends in our city. And,
that's true.
And we were afraid of getting the COVID.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. When we were in LA, we were intentional about getting together with our friends. You had your girlfriends. You would get together literally once a week.
Yeah.
And you know, and I when you did that, I would go to the Thai place and get dinner by myself. Like,
yeah.
So there was still some of that, but
I think it's just out of the habit of it.
But also too, it wasn't like new stuff. It wasn't like, oh, I think I'll go to the Getty Museum. No, it was like we were in a routine. It was the same routine. It was always the same stuff, and it was awesome and fun, and it did fill our cup. But this course that we're taking has been very encouraging with trying, like, intentionally getting out there and doing stuff that you maybe you would have done once and you just haven't done in a long time, like explored.
I'm going to a craft store tonight.
Yeah, cool. Love it.
Yeah, but you know what? Also, I don't know where anything is, so I have to like look it up, and then I'm like, well, is this the best one? So then anyways, so I just really love that they talked about that. I think more women need to talk about that, and the more of us that are doing that, the more of our friends who you might feel like you're letting down by saying, I'm working on this hobby, the more they'll be like, oh, I should go do that too. So at any rate, let's set the domino effect of more women having purposeful time and hobbies that they're unapologetic about. Great.
I love that.
What are you loved?
Okay, so the girls said, Laura was talking about letting yourself be vulnerable when trying to do things you might not be good at yet, right? And specifically with her, she was telling that really funny story about how she decided to start playing the violin and how she had never played the violin before. And then almost immediately thereafter, the band started and she was like, I'm going to play the violin in the band, right? And she was like, she had, I think her first moment of ego that she had to get over was being in class with daughter and not being with the rest of the moms sitting along the back wall and being like, nope, I'm pulling my chair forward and I'm going to take lessons too. And she talked about like, that's a little uncomfortable there, you know. Now she's like in class with 10-year-olds and also the other moms are looking at her like, what are you doing? Right. And, I said ego because, we think of ego as like egotistical and like arrogance, but that fear is also ego. What are they going to think of me? That's also ego. And I was listening to a podcast series recently that is performed by professional actors. It's a scripted podcast series by Marvel, and they have.
I'm like, what podcast series? We listen to all the same ones. Nope,
not at all. No, I have a whole dozen that you don't even know. It's called Marvel's Wastelanders, and they did a whole thing on Black Widow, and it's I'm not going to get into all the specifics, but at the end they had a couple of interviews with the team who was doing it, right? And the one guy said, as an actor, as a stage actor or a film actor, they have all these tools that they can use to convey the experience to the audience. And that's almost always visual. Of course, there's sound and talking and audio and all the things. But like, if someone's going to like punch you in the gut, you can go, oh, but you're also like, you're visually like, your face is getting out and you're tensing up and all this stuff. And they said, they're like, we're just doing audio only. So we had to really make it ridiculous. And he's like, that was hard. That was really embarrassing. And he said,
that's ego.
That's ego. Totally. He's like, but there needed to be a sense of vulnerability that they were getting to, through. And he said what they did was they went and they pulled up Hugh Jackman playing Wolverine. Because there's a video on YouTube, apparently, of Hugh Jackman playing Wolverine. And when he was doing, I don't know if it was an animated series or whatever he was doing, and Hugh Jackman is apparently doing all of the punches and the grunts and the groans and like Hugh Jackman looks like an idiot, right? But that's what the job called for, and he does it anyway because it's about the audio. So they were like, wow, like, okay, if he can be vulnerable and he's super famous, then I can be vulnerable and I can do this podcast series.
And I would love to know what Hugh Jackman thought, because he probably thought like, oh my God, I have to be so ridiculously over the top to make this done. This is like not as easy. I could just make the movie and be easier. Like, I'm sure like it's kind of, we never know what the other person is thinking, but like, you know, Amy Ladine and I think we even both talked about this on one of our episodes. Like, I had this ego of like, oh my God, does she want to work with me? Like, what does she want to do this? And like, and she had the same thing. Like, I don't know if this girl's going to work with me. Like, just so you know, whatever your like little like sirens in your head are like, I don't know if I should be doing this. This is so embarrassing. Everyone else is thinking the exact opposite in the same way. They're like, oh, I wish I could. I bet you those moms are like, oh, I wish my daughter would let me take class with her. You know, so anyways.
Yeah, I always take solace in being the person who asks the questions for the group, because I know I'm not alone, and so I'm willing to. That's what allows me in my head. That's the story I tell myself, to be raising my hand in a group setting and ask the question, because I know that there are other people thinking the same thing. You know.
Yeah, that's great. I love it. I love the word solace.
Yes.
Y'all should take solace in that. Okay.
All right.
Action items.
Okay,
they
finally.
have so many good stuff, though.
Let's talk about the beit action items. What bold, executable, intrinsic, or targeted action items can we take away from your convo with the Wild Honey Band? So they said something which I thought was really, it connected with me a lot. They said, show up to the plans you have made and believe in them.
I love this.
And I think what they were specifically talking about was, you had asked, how does your family and friends, how do your family and friends respect your rehearsal time? Because did it seem ridiculous where you were like, sorry, mom's got a band practice now, you know, and like the kids or whatever, the husbands or whatever, like work, life, all the things. How did band practice become a serious thing? Right. And they said basically they had to make the decision that this was serious. This was a real thing, and they were going to take it seriously. They were going to treat it as a real thing. And that posture, that belief in what they were doing would then...
was 100% being it till I see it, by the way.
Oh, yeah, being it till I see it. And that it would permeate into other people's understanding that this is not a joke, you know? And so... You know, but the second thing is they said you got to show up to the plans that you made. So they picked Thursday nights, and Thursdays were rehearsal night at whatever time. And they made a decision that they were going to be there for each other.
Yeah.
You know, they still said they have fun. They drink a glass of wine, but that there's very much a decision to be there, and that they were going to take this seriously and go, you know, be in a band.
Yeah, so this is the same thing of like, if you put that you want to go to the gym in your schedule at a certain time, I don't care how busy your day was. If the gym isn't on fire and you can still drive to the gym, like the freeway is open, everything is allowing you to go there except for your mind, you need to stick to the plans that you made and believe in it, because that's how our confidence comes from. Confidence comes from showing up to the things you committed to. And those little things that you said you were going to do, every time you flake on yourself for those little plans, those like seemingly little plans, you are actually eroding.
Eroding.
Underroading. You're underroading your confidence in yourself to show up for yourself. And so you're
undermining your belief.
Yes. I cannot love this beit action item enough. It is one of the best ones I think we've ever had, you know, and I it's not like it's easy for us to, like, Brad signed us up for this Artist Way thing, and I swear I thought he was going to flake out on it, and then I could just flake out too, because I am a recovering overachiever and perfectionist, and so I have to show up for the things I sign up for. But I was like, oh, he's a rebel. If he doesn't do it, then like full permission. You know, and then like but it's working, and we're showing up for it, and we're believing in it. But like another thing, like sometimes you have to put your money there, like.
Yeah.
Like the investment of it. You know, one of our retreaters said to me on the phone the other day, she's like, Lesley, if your retreat hadn't been as expensive as it was, I wouldn't have shown up. I would have just let it go. Yeah. And so if you're someone who like consistently like flakes out on things and you want to change that, put some money that you like don't want to throw away on behind it, and you'll show up for it.
Oh, you know you will, because that was like painful to make that decision, and that will change your reaction to it. I mean, that's exactly why when we are getting coaching for our businesses, man, sometimes it's really hard to make that decision, because you're looking at like a couple tens of thousands of dollars for coaching, and you bet your ass that we're going to show up for it, right? So because that is not like that's a scary number, right? And but that's also on purpose, right? Of course, the person that we've hired to be our coach, we're paying them, and but they're bringing value to the table, and we know that they're bringing value to the table. But it's more than that. It's also, what is it going to take to get my ass into gear and go show up for it and really take it seriously? A lot of times it comes down to a price tag.
Well, and also like there are some things that like we may be like, oh, this is really busy, let's just postpone it the next month. But it's like, no, we actually paid for this advice. We have to it kind of forces us to do things that scare the living daylights out of us.
Yeah, a little bit.
So my big beit item that I love is text someone you love to let them know you're thinking about them. Text someone that you're thinking about them. You don't have to love them yet, but
right.
Like for those of you who like feel like you don't have enough, like maybe you're lighting new friends. Well, text the person you think you might want to be your friend. Hey, did you see the moon tonight? It looks so amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be a question. You don't have to ask them how they are.
No, I actually do this all the time. This is something I've been doing.
Tell us how you do it, because I do this really well with the people that I do it with all the time. But
I do this with everybody. Anybody that I think of ever. If I'm thinking of somebody, I reach out to them, and I literally just say, "Hey, I was just thinking about you. I hope everything's amazing." Send.
Yeah.
That's it. Like,
you can even copy that, y'all, from the show notes and put it in your notes and just copy and paste that anytime you think of someone.
But I do it all the time, and often I don't hear back from people, and that's okay. But like it's something that I started doing when I was in college, and I started doing it with my high school friends. We all had gotten cell phones at the time, and then we all went off to college, right? And the whole point was basically that we're now no longer together. We've been together our whole lives, and then suddenly we're gone. I like grew up with these kids, and then and then what? We're just supposed to forget about all that. So I started texting everyone like, "Hey, hope you're doing well. Hey, I hope college is awesome. I hope all this stuff." And it became something that I've maintained over the years.
And you know what? Also send those to the people you think are the strongest.
Yeah.
If you think that somebody's like, oh my gosh, like they're so strong. I will say, like, during the pandemic, I had a lot of friends reaching out to a lot of people. And then like I reached out and they're like, they said, "Oh, Leslie, I'm so sorry I'm reaching out to you. I just know that you're so resilient." And I'm like, yep, I'm over here resilient all alone. I would be really nice if being resilient. So I just say like,
and if you don't have their phone number, you
DM
can
on Instagram.
Yeah, send them a DM on Instagram,
Email them.
or message them on Facebook or something. And the same thing goes with family. We got cousins, aunts, and uncles that we only talk to occasionally. But there's something really incredible about opening up your text and getting a text from someone that's just like, "Hey, I hope your day is amazing."
Well, and also people just want to feel seen. So maybe you hear a song and you just send them a song. Like yesterday, I sent you and your sister a song, and obviously I talk to them all the time, but we talk about work. I don't actually just like send something funny or whatever. And so I sent them a terrible song.
No, it's a great song. Are you kidding? It's an inside joke song.
It's an inside joke. It's incredible. But I just texted the two of them. No explanations. And then they listened to it and it made them laugh and it brightened their day. So anyways, that is my beit action item for you from these amazing women. Yeah. Thank you to the Wild Honey Band. Yes. Ladies, you are just an inspiration, and you not just in the music that you do, but in the way you built your lives and the way you do it. And I their daughters are the luckiest daughters ever.
Pretty cool. What an awesome example.
Yeah. I'm Leslie Logan.
And I'm Brad Crowell.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We are so grateful you're here. How are you going to use these tips in your life? Let us know by sending a DM, tag the Beit Pod with the takeaway, with the Beit action item that you're implementing this week. And also tag the Wild Honey Band or whoever, if maybe you're listening to a different episode and you remember this, that's fine. But please let us know, because it lets people know like what helped you in their life, and it gives them a little like making them feel like you are thought of them.
Yeah. Why don't you go DM the Wild Honey Band and say, hey, I just heard you, on the Beit pod. Thanks for sharing your story.
Yeah, that's it. Just text that. That's DM that. That's all you have to do.
Yep.
So anyways.
They're out of Canada, out of Calgary. So there are a few Wild Honey Bands. I want to say we'll put the link to their
Wild
IG.
Honey Band 3.
Yeah. We'll put their Instagram link in the show notes.
Yeah. So
give them some love. Tell them thanks.
And until next time, be it till you see it.
Bye for now.
That's all I got for this episode of the Be It Till You See It podcast. One thing that would help both myself and future listeners is for you to rate the show and leave a review. And follow or subscribe for free wherever you listen to your podcast. Also, make sure to introduce yourself over at the Be It Pod on Instagram. I would love to know more about you. Share this episode with whoever you think needs to hear it. Help us and others be it till you see it. Have an awesome day. Be It Till You See It is a production of As the Crows Fly Media.
It's written, produced, filmed, and recorded by your host, Lesley Logan, and me, Brad Crowell. Our associate producer is Amanda Fraterelli.
Kevin Perez at Disenyo handles all of our audio editing.
Our theme music is by Ali at Apex Production Music, and our branding by designer and artist Gianfranco Cioffi.
Special thanks to our designer Jairo Mandal for creating all of our visuals, which you can't see because this is a podcast, and our digital producer Jay Perdoso for editing all the video each week so you can.
And to Angelina Herrico for transcribing each of our episodes so you can find them on our website. And finally, to Meredith Crowell for keeping us all on point and on time.